how's it going? Welcome to how to solve a Rubik's Cube. I am by no means an expert at solving a Rubik's Cube. I bought this thing yesterday and I taught myself how to solve it in about 3 hours by watching some YouTube videos. There are some really good guys out there that are really good at this and they can solve this much faster than I can, but I think I'm going to be a better teacher because there were some things that they didn't really point out and they didn't really explain that well. So before we get going, it's important to note that you don't need to know any math. Okay, you don't need to know how to do algorithms. It's really not that hard. Essentially, they used algorithms to figure out a sequence of turns to get a tile to move from point A to point B. Okay, your job is just to know the sequences, and you can write them down. They're very simple, and you just follow a recipe. Okay, that's all it is. So real quick, the lingo is this is going to be your front side, this is your up side, right side, left side, and down side. Okay, very simple. If I say front side turn, you're going to do front side one turn clockwise. If I say front inverse, you're going to turn the front side counterclockwise one turn. Just as if I say up, like you're looking down on it, one turn up. Or up inverse, counterclockwise, just like right inverse or right, or down inverse, down. It's not that hard. Okay, so in the sequences that you're going to need to know, they're going to be shorthand. So it'll say F or FI, meaning front or front inverse. There are 7 sequences to know. It's very simple, and again, write them down. So at this time, I'll go ahead and put them up on the screen. Okay, so hopefully you wrote down the sequences, and we'll go ahead and start. Basically, you want to start with the green side. That's what a lot of the other YouTube videos start with, so that's what we'll start with, just to be concise with them. So the green side is the one that has the green tile in the center, just like this is the orange side, this is the yellow side, and you can flip it around. At this point, it really doesn't make a difference. Wherever you want, but we start with the green side. So start with the green side. We want to have a green cross in the middle. So you can see there's a green one here, but this is red and this is on the white side, so it's not where we want it to be. So what we want to do is we want to take this and flip it upside down and spin this green or red piece to the red side right there, and then flip it all the way up. There you go. So now it's green, green, red, red. Okay, so we got one of the 4 pieces. Let's see if we can find another one. Here's one right here. So let's flip this up. Okay, well, that's orange. So flip it all the way to the bottom, spin it to the orange side, and flip it all the way up. Okay, now we got the orange on top and the green here. It's on the right. We're almost there, but we need to flip it. So this is where we use sequence 1. So it's going to be a forward inverse, an up, a left inverse, and an up inverse. And there you go. You flipped it. So now it's green, green, orange, orange. And we didn't mess up the other side. It's still red, red, green, green. So now we need 2 more pieces. Let's find them. Here's one. Here's a yellow side. So we want to spin this to the yellow side right there and flip it up. Okay, we're in the same situation we were before. So we're going to use the same sequence, sequence 1. And there we go. Yellow, yellow, green, green. And again, we didn't mess up any of the other sides. So we have one last one. Here it is. It's the green and white. Spin it to the white side. Flip it all the way up. And again, it's the same thing. So here we go. And it might come up already done, in which case you just skip doing the sequence if it's already in line. But now we've got them all in line and they all match. So the next step is to get the 4 corners. The big problem with that is you got to make these colors match on the side. So this is yellow that on the white side, this is red on the orange side, so clearly that doesn't work. So let's get rid of it. So this isn't one of the sequences I put up, but what I like to do is just do a right inverse, a down inverse, and a right. Basically you didn't mess up the cross at all, and it got rid of that corner piece. Okay, so now let's find a corner piece that does work. So for instance, green, red, yellow. So we want it to be on the green, red, yellow side. So here you go. Here's the red, red, yellow, yellow, and green is where we're going to put it up at the top, directly beneath where we're going to put it. So this is where we use sequence 2. It's going to be a right inverse, a down inverse, a right, and a down. Still not there. Keep doing it until it gets to the spot where you want it to be. Still not there. Keep going. There we go. Yellow, red. That's one quarter piece. Let's do another one. Here's one, red and white. So flip it to the red and white side. Here we go. White, white, red, red, green, directly underneath where we want it to be. Sequence 2. There we go. That one's solved. So let's find another one. Here's one. Green, orange, yellow. So get it on the orange and yellow side. It's already there. Yellow, orange, directly underneath where we want it to be. Use sequence 2 again until it finally pops up. There we go. And we got one more we need to find. And it's actually right here. It's up in the corner. And it is, so we're just going to use sequence 2 until it gets to the right orientation. There we go. So now you've got the entire top green, and if you did it right, the top layer should all have matching colors with the center tile. And that is how you solve for the first layer of the Rubik's Cube. So now we're going to solve for the second layer of the Rubik's Cube. So the second layer of the Rubik's Cube, what you're going to do is you're going to flip it over. Okay? So blue side's up. And basically what we're going to use is we're going to use sequence number 3 and sequence number 4. And what these are going to do, it's going to move this middle piece down to the left for sequence number 3, or down to the right for sequence number 4. So what you do is you look at the top, and you want to see these 4 middle tiles, and you want to look for one that's not blue. So for instance, this one is not blue, and it doesn't have blue on this side, so we can use this. So that we want to flip this to the yellow side. You can flip this all you want, you're not going to mess anything up right now. So spin it to the yellow side. There we go. And we need to put it in one of these 2 places. Well, you would think this one's already done, so we only need to put it here. But that's not true, because this one has a blue on the outside. We don't want the blue. The blue needs to be up here. So where do we put this? Do we put it here or here? You look here, yellow top is red, so you want it to go on the red side. Well, that's orange, so we don't want it over there. Here's the red side, so we want it down to the left. So we're going to use sequence number 3, and that's going to be an up inverted, a left inverted, an up, a left, an up, a front, an up inverted, and a front inverted. There you go. We moved it right here. Okay? Perfect. Now let's find another one. This one doesn't have blue, but it's blue there, so we don't want to use that one. This one doesn't have blue there, but it's got blue there. Don't want to use that one. This one doesn't have blue, but it's got blue there. Don't want to use that one. This one's got no blue, so we want to use this one. Turn it to the white side. There we go. Now which one do we move it to? This one or this one? Well, it's red on top. This side's orange, so we don't want to move it there. Here's the red side. So we want to move it down to the right. So now we're going to use sequence 4. So that's going to be an up, a right, an up inverse, a right inverse, an up inverse, a forward inverse, an up, and a forward. There you go. Got it moved. So now let's do another one. No blue, blue, so we don't want that one. Don't want that one. We want to use this one. Here we go. So orange and yellow. Well, this one's in place, so here we go. Down to the right. We're going to use sequence number 4 again. So, there you go. Looks like we only got 1 cube left that needs to be fixed. So, find one. Here you go. White and the orange. It's on the white side. Orange down to the left. So this is going to be a sequence 3. There you go. And there you go. You've solved the bottom 2 layers. And you are more than halfway done. So now, the last thing to do is to solve the top layer, now that we solved the bottom 2 layers. And to do this, we need to find where all these blues are at. So you could have different patterns of blue up here. It doesn't matter which pattern it is. You could have one blue and the rest are around the side. I don't know, it doesn't matter. Basically what you want to do is take one of the 4 corners that isn't blue, in this case I'll use the yellow, and put it towards the back and to the left, okay? And our goal here is to eventually make a blue cross in the middle. So we're basically going to use sequence number 5 until we get this cross. So it's going to be a front, a right, an up, a right inverse, an up inverse, and a front inverse. Okay, there we go. Now we've almost got it. We've got a bar here. So what we want is the bar to be across the body. And we are going to do it again. So it's going to be a front, a right, an up, a right inverse, an up inverse, and a front inverse. There we go. Now we've got our cross. I don't care about these 2 yet. I just want the cross. That's the biggest thing. Now that you have the cross, on the outside in the top row, at least 2 of the middle tiles should be able to match up to the colors on the sides. Okay? At least 2. They might be on opposite sides or they might be right next to each other. Eventually we want it to be right next to each other. So let's see. I've got the whites that match up. This is red and orange, that doesn't match up. This is orange and yellow, that doesn't match up. Red and yellow doesn't match up. So spin it a little bit. Here's reds, here's yellows. There you go. There's my 2 sides that match up. They happen to be right next to each other. If they were on opposite sides of each other, that's okay. What you would do is you'd take one side facing you and the other side facing away from you, and you would go ahead and you would use sequence number 6 one time, and what that'll do is that'll then make 2 colors that match up side by side. It might not be the 2 colors that you originally used or had matched up, but 2 colors will then match up side by side. So you should be where I'm at now. Now if you've got the 2 side by side, you want to take one color facing away from you and one color in the right hand. And we're going to use sequence number 6 again. And our goal is to get all these middle tiles to match up the correct color. So sequence 6 is going to be a right, an up, a right inverse, an up, a right, an up again, a right inverse, and an up. Now all the tiles in the middle should match, no problem. So our next goal now is to get the 4 corners. Okay, now the 4 corners, there's 2 steps to this. One, we want all the colors on a corner cube to be the colors on those 3 sides. It doesn't need to be in the correct orientation yet. So let's see, we got orange, yellow, blue. This is a red, yellow, blue, so that doesn't match. A red, blue, white, that doesn't match. A blue, orange, and white, that one does match. Okay, and that one happens to be in the right orientation. Doesn't need to be, it could be flipped around, doesn't matter, but all the 3 colors are there. So that's the only one that matches up correctly. So we want to take this one and put it towards us on the right and hold it just like this. Now what we're going to do is we're going to use sequence number 7 until we get all the colors to match up correctly. So that's going to be an up, a right, an up inverse, a left inverse, an up, a right inverse, an up inverse, and a left. So now we got white, white, orange, orange, yellow, blue, orange, red. So all the colors are in the right side. We just need to flip the orientation. You're almost done at this point. Okay? What you need to do is we're going to go back to use sequence number 2, just like you did at the beginning. This one already has the right orientation, so we don't need to worry about that. Take one that doesn't have the right orientation, so I have 3 that don't, that we need to fix. Put one towards you to the right, okay? And you're going to use sequence 2. Hold on tight to the middle, because you don't want to miss this. Basically what you're going to do is use sequence 2 just like you did before, and keep using sequence 2 until this is in the right orientation. Okay, in the right orientation. Now it looks like everything's messed up, but it's not. What you do is don't move your fingers. You just take the top row and spin it to the next one that needs to be fixed, just like that. And then repeat sequence 2 until it is in the right orientation. Okay, now I got one last corner. So again, take just the top, spin it, and do sequence 2. Okay, so all we need to do now is take the top and spin it until we get the colors lined up. Boom, there you go. And you have just solved your first Rubik's Cube. Not that hard. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you liked it. Good luck.